Hello. Hello. It's really wonderful to be with you again today. Hope you're doing well. Hope all is well in your universe. Thank you for taking the time to be with me today. I truly appreciate it. I really do. Today I'm going to be talking about rules. Topic of this, the theme of the video is breaking the rules. Now, by that, I am not advocating you go out and break the law. Certainly not. The kind of rules I'm talking about are, we've had a whole series of rules that have been set up in our lives they might come rules from our parents, rules from our teachers at school, rules from, perhaps religions or government. I was talking about driving on the right side of the road, meaning not right as in left, but you know what I'm saying. Those kind of rules. And also, we make our own rules about things as well. And rules of listening to rules that people who are kind of, I don't know, for example, like people who are influencers who are into telling you how to run your business and things like that. And they say, these are the rules. This is what you need to do. My pet, Molly, my little Cavachon. So even pets can kind of have rules. I'll share that one in a minute. She is such a cutie. Such a cutie. So thinking about rules of parents, obviously simple things like when you get up in the morning, make your bed. The rule is you make your bed first thing in the morning, and teachers, obviously it's like you're not allowed to talk in class, whatever else that might be. And government, not, being drunk driving a car, whatever that might be as well. Religions, I'm not going there. I'm staying out of that subject. And so the ones that we make as well. So let me tell you some of the ones that have been really coming up for me recently. And this is the reason why I am sharing this, because I've had like a torch. I'm going to use my crystal here, like a torch, shone on some rules that were operating in the background that I wasn't even aware of. And it kind of took being questioned by somebody else, usually James, my husband, about something, for me to kind of realize, oh my God, I'm only doing that because it's a rule that I created in the first place. So therefore, I can reassess that. And if it's not working for me, you know what? I can change it. Life-altering stuff. Groundbreaking, really. When you start to realize what the rules are that are kind of operating in the background that you're not even aware of. So, like one example I'll give you recently, I think you all know I am writing a book. I'm still writing my book, getting a lot closer to finishing it. Very excited about that. Really excited about that. Anyway, so back on rules, writing my book. So I had this rule that I had created, don't know where it came from, that said, I have to write my book in order of the chapters sequentially, right? Chapter 1, then chapter 2, then chapter 3, then chapter 4, and I cannot write it out of order. In my mind, I kind of thought it'll break the whole energetic flow. If I write chapter 2 and go, do you know what? I feel like hopping along to chapter 8 and writing that today. It was like no, you can't do that. And I found that I was getting really bogged down in my early chapters because they were quite heavy going in terms of some of the content. And it was, I think I've probably alluded to this before, the book is working on me as I am working on it. And so it was quite heavy duty, some of that. And so I wanted to jump out of sequence and think, God, can I just write the chapter on something a bit lighter, like in the second phase of the book? And I found that my writing was getting sort of slower. I felt like I was kind of wading through mud for a bit until I sort of sat with it. And I thought, who said I can't write this out of sequence? That's so ridiculous. There's no reason. So what I did instead, and this goes back to my earlier video on intuition, was tune into my heart and tune into my intuition, and asking, I've kind of made a list of all the chapters that still needed writing without the numbers. And I would just say which chapter, and I would go through them all, is the one is the best one for me to write next. And I would go through each one and sort of feeling the energy of it, whether it was a yes or whether it was a no. And I think I've said before, for me, the yes is the heart, the no is like in the throat. I'd go through each one. And the one that had the strongest was the one I started, regardless of what number that was. That totally changed my writing experience. And it was in the flow. And when I started to do that, I would get a massive download of what was coming for that chapter that came like that. I was writing the chapters so much more quickly. And then it kind of would also go back to then some of the ones which were a little more challenging to write. So it wasn't like there was part of me just going, let's just write the easier stuff. There was the mix of, okay, now it's time to go back and to write this one and then to come forwards. And so, yeah, that was really important shift for me when I saw that role. Another one, like my morning routine. Again, all these things have sort of changed a lot because of what I'm up to at the moment, namely doing a coaching course and other business activities as well as writing a book. And I had this kind of rule. I would get up in the morning and the first thing to do, get downstairs, put the kettle on, open the dishwasher, unload the dishwasher, taking it all out. And then it was other various things. Obviously, there are some necessities. Got to let the dog out and things that just need doing. But there were other stuff that in my mind was, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I need to check all of my emails. I need to read the news. And I started to realize that it was affecting my creative day a lot because I often wasn't getting around to my creative projects until mid-morning, if not late morning sometimes. And so I decided to reassess what were my rules about the morning. What were these habits that I said, these are written in stone. I must unload the dishwasher and clear the decks before I can go and write my book. So I was like, no, I don't. So I decided to not do that anymore. So the dishwasher is regularly unloaded at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and it feels very liberating. I like that one. So, and another one was when I started making these YouTube videos, I made a promise. I am going to record these weekly. I'm going to put them out every single week, which was going brilliantly. And I love making them. I truly do. But as my book was getting further on and with my coaching program, I realized I had like a really big crunch of time. And I just can't keep doing everything as I was meant to. And I think it was James who said, well, you don't have to make the videos every week. I'm like, yes, I do. I have this rule that I have created. I am going to make these videos every week. And when I really stepped back, this one took a few days because it had quite a tight hold on this one. But I stepped back and I sat with it and I realized that wasn't true either. That was a rule that I could change. Maybe it's on a temporary basis until I'm through the time where I don't have these other big projects going on. Maybe not. But to just be fluid about it and realize, I'm going to shift it. And what felt right was to do them monthly. So that's what I've started to do, as you know. So that's another example of where I had a rule. And another last one that I'll mention, actually, which is not about work, but it's a very personal thing, is that I cannot remember if I've shared or not, but my dad died in November 2022. And when my brother and I had to make the arrangements for his body after he had died, I'd never had to organize that before, a funeral, a cremation, or whatever. It was a totally new thing for me. And I kind of had this, I sort of thought was like a rule of sort of society in a way that was driven by that you needed to have with the cremation, you had to have people present, everybody would come in and there'd be a coffin or it would be in church. My dad was not religious, so that was a no-brainer. That wasn't going to happen. But that the family would gather around this coffin, and our little family, we're a very small family. Anyway, so I realized that was kind of a rule in my mind. And I had a conversation with a really incredible friend of mine who shared that she had when her dad died, that he'd had a direct cremation. Didn't even know what that was. The idea whether the body goes in to be cremated, and you don't do the service and everything. And for me, I can't speak for my brother, but for me, that felt like a bit like, oh, can you do that? Are you allowed to do that? Is that okay to do that? It was kind of like an unwritten rule, Anyway, so that's what we decided to do for lots of different reasons. That was our best option. And it felt really liberating to sort of, in my eyes, go in our own direction of what suited us and what worked for us, regardless of what anybody else thought about it, So that was another one which really worked for us. So yes, rules that other people can come up with for us. So I think the key one that comes up for me at the moment is because I'm branching out and starting to do more things with my business. going in person, starting in-person events and getting more of a presence, just wanting more people to find me so that I can kind of spread the word. Well, it's not really the word, it's spread love with the world. So anyway, and you go online, you look at all these people who are they're saying, these are the rules. This is how you bring in the business. This is what you do. You have to do that. You have to do this. You've got to do that. Or, so, and none of that felt good to me. It felt like a very old paradigm that came from scarcity and trying to beat people over the head, tell them, come and sign up, do this, do that. And I wanted mine to be a really open offering coming from love, coming from a very different energy place. So anyway, so that took quite a while again, because I was really listening to what I was perceiving as these rules that other people were creating about, this is how you do this. This is the right way. And I've been taking a big step for quite a while now, actually, in a different direction of what feels good to me. So again, it's trusting your own North Star, trusting how you feel, regardless, whatever the rules are, anybody else says. Right. On to the last one. My dog, our pets. My little dog, Molly, has a couple of routines about snuggle time. One of them is first thing in the morning when we get up, and this is mainly one that is my husband, but if he's not around, then it comes to me, where she wants snuggle time. This dog would live down our shirts all the time if she could. She's such she's just such a tender, sweet, loving spirit who just wants to be around her people all the time. Anyway, first thing in the morning, when James gets his cup of tea, she wants to be sat on his lap, just sitting there and having their quiet, lovely time together. And if he comes down and starts to do something else, she's coming up, nudging him with her nose, and she's like jumping up at him, like, come on already. You know the rule. You know how this goes. It's in the morning. It's snuggle time. So she does that. And she and I have our snuggle time in the evening. So once dinner's been made and eaten, then her time is, she's looking at me. She's telling me, animals, they communicate telepathically, right? She's like drilling holes in me. It's snuggle time. And so I'm like, okay, I go sit down. She's straight on, So anyway, super sweet. That is a rule that I have I can look at it and laugh at it and I adore it. It's super cute. I love that one. Yeah. So anyway, moving away from sweet times of rules, if we find there's something that's not working in our life, something's giving us some trouble, something just feels like you're swimming upstream, it can be a really good time to take a pause and go inside and ask yourself, are there some rules that are operating in the background here? There could be your rules, as I say, anyone else's rules. There could be, whoever. I've given you all the suggestions on rules, and there's probably more than I even told you about, and just be with it. And then you can ask yourself, well, is this rule serving me? The impact that this rule is having in my life by following this rule, okay, first of all, stay legal. I'm not suggesting you go off that path, but, you can say, does it serving me personally what that particular rule is? And if it is not, you can choose to do it differently or just drop it altogether. There's a lot of freedom in that. And sometimes they can be sticky little rules. Like I said to you about the one about changing my YouTube video timing schedule, going from weekly to monthly. I fought that one. I was like, I cannot do that. It took a lot of meditating, a lot of connecting. It seems so silly now, but at the time, I was holding on hard to that rule of how I insisted it needed to be. And yet I had created the rule. So anyway, I would love to go inward for a moment at this point in time. Stir the pot inside of you of what rules might be going on in your world that have been kind of dragging you down, causing you some friction, causing you some trouble, that maybe are calling for your attention. And if you're in a place that it's safe to do so, and if you're willing, let's explore. Let's go inward. Closing your eyes if that feels comfortable to you, and taking some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. There's a lot of energy in this video today, so let's I'm allowing it to slow me down too, and just relaxing down. Deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just seeing if you can slow it down to the in-breath of 4. Breathing out on a count of 8. Your exhalation being twice as long as your inhalation. Going to any areas of tension inside of you. Breathing in energies of expansiveness, loosening, and trust into those areas, and any other qualities that might come to mind. Breathe those in, whatever is specific for your needs in this moment. Breathing out anything that's redundant, anything that's served its purpose and can leave your being on any level. Breathing in spaciousness. Breathing out tension or worry or thoughts in this moment. Because you can let those pass by in the sky without attaching to them, like clouds in the sky. No need to attach. Perhaps you notice them, and that's okay. Keep breathing in for 4 and out for 8. And just visualize, imagine, or sense. Some people don't see pictures, but they have a sense of it. That there's a big pot inside of you. And inside of this pot, there are some rules that have been running your life. And some of them are healthy, useful, valuable rules, sure. Leaving all of those alone that work well for you, creating harmony in your life that suit you, keep them all. This is entirely led by you and your needs and requirements. Go at your own pace. Stay open to the possibility that within this pot, perhaps you have to go way down inside. Keep moving your awareness down deep inside, and perhaps there are some places inside of your body that are holding on to these rules that don't work for you. You may or may not be aware of where they are. Either way, it's fine. Breathing in more loosening energies to where these sticky rules are hiding out. Or maybe you're becoming aware of a rule or cluster of rules that are not working for you, that you didn't even know were there. Let this process go wherever it needs to within you. Breathing in softening energies. Kind of just loosening it like that cake in the cake tin. And opening up through your crown chakra and allowing divine love to come into your being, into where these stuck old rules are. Bringing you all the support that you need to become aware of them and to make healthy, new choices that support your well-being and improve your life in some way, some shape or form. Breathing out what is no longer needed. Breathing out the stickiness, the heaviness, the density. And the more that you do this, noticing how those old rules that you were so sure of, that felt really concrete and real, they just kind of blow away in the wind, or they disintegrate, or they seem like dust in your hand that you can blow away. Sending it all back to the divine, And once again, returning to your awareness of your crown chakra and allowing this divine love to fill you up from your toes, toenails, coming up your feet, into your legs, up through your body, down into your hands and arms, shoulders, neck, and head. Go at your own pace. Maybe there's a color associated with this energy today. Maybe not. Maybe you just have a sense of it. It's all perfect. Filling you up, filling up between your cells and your cells, filling up all those spaces that have been left from where those beliefs were holding on so tightly, the space that they took up. It's divine love has displaced what needed to go today, what you were ready to let go of, what your higher self was saying, here you go, take a look at this. And maybe you're not ready to let go of it today. That's fine too. Maybe this experience was all about just seeing something that was previously invisible to you. And that you can continue this transformation after we've closed today. Questioning what you do and why you do it, and is it working for you? Can I do this differently, in a better way for me? Breathing in confidence and trusting your intuition. Hand on your heart if that feels good to you. Bringing your awareness up higher again, coming back into the room, wriggling fingers and toes, and saying thank you. Thank you to your higher self for playing along today. And when you're ready, you can wiggle your toes and your fingers and open your eyes. Come back into the room fully. Now that's a process that you can use any time that you want to. When you feel there might be some rules operating in the background, or when you're inquiring into what's going on here. Just bringing the energy into it, bringing divine love into it, bringing the qualities to help loosen it. And you just ask yourself, what is that? So you go off track from what I suggest and follow what feels right to you in here. Only you know. You're the expert on you, not me. That's a relief. It's a lot of responsibility off my shoulders. It's all in here. I'm guiding you. I'm simply guiding you to that place inside, helping you to build that trust with who you really are, that you know what works for you. I'm like the support team, really. Thank you for letting me guide you. I have a couple of quick notices, one of which is Self-Love Sanctuary, the online gathering, which happens once a month on Zoom. I'm inviting you to that. I am building a community of soulful people who want to come together, who are all interested in raising their vibration and transforming their lives, taking responsibility for their own transformation. Clearing away what doesn't work and deepening into self-love. That's a way of working with me directly. Anyway, you're invited to that. You can check all that out on my website. I don't need to share that with you now. If it appeals, if you like what I'm doing with you here, go check it out. And I think I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing some live events, meaning live in-person events. I am in Westport in Connecticut in the States. And I'm going to be I've got a couple of things brewing that I'm very, very excited about. More on that another time. Soul Friends is one of them. What's the other one called? Self-Love Clinic. Yeah, little teasers for you. Anyway, it's been a pleasure being with you again today. Truly, it really, really has. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you found it valuable, helpful in some shape or form. And please, if so, leave me a comment. I love reading your comments. I love responding to your comments. It really touches my heart when somebody watches these videos and it makes a difference. That's what it's all about, honestly. And what else was I going to say? If you liked it, do a like on it. Helps people find it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you get all my new videos when they come out. I've also got the link to my website, which has a link if you want to email me, if you want to reach out to me, if you're interested in a mentorship, whatever, you can reach out to me. All of that info is there. And that's it. I have nothing else for you today. It's been great. And I will see you again soon. Until next time. Goodbye.